What's going on, Facebook? It's your favorite guy, Demetrius Naylor, and we are live. Hey, tonight I'm super excited. I'm super excited because not a lot of times do we get somebody who's lived it, breathed it, done it in real life. Tonight we get to talk to one of those guys. His name is Words Taylor. But before we get into that, I want to always make you aware that our episode of the Sunday Night Showcase is brought to you by BB3 Studios. BB3 Studios, get your Christian Faith t-shirts, get all of the things faith-based here at BB3 Studios. Me and my wife's design collection, featuring designs such as the Jesus Did It collection. We've also got the Kingdom Mindset Kingdom focused. So you can always check that out at BB3 Studios. Check them out online. And I always want to thank everybody that tuned in to watch. Beth Ferraro, we see you. Ashley Rogers, we see you. Brandon Ruth, thank you guys for always being on here and supporting. And don't forget, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., we do The Journey. Me and Michelle McLean, my co-host. She is also the owner of Retention Masters. If you like any of my logos, such as the Journey logo, or maybe you like the Nailed It logo, for my company, Nailed It LLC. Michelle McLean is the author and designer of those logos, and she handles all of my branding work. So if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to Michelle McLean. But as you see in this upper corner, BB3 Studios, go ahead and reach out if you're looking for a new t-shirt. Also, tonight, whoever wins will get a Nailed It LLC, The Journey Begins t-shirt for sharing it out, liking, and subscribing to Nailed It LLC or Nailed It on YouTube. But without further ado, I want to bring my man Words Taylor into the fold because Words Taylor has done Anthony Santangelo. We see you. Words Taylor has done so many things in the online space, known for working with E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, online launch strategist, over $1 million plus in client sales, author, speaker, Mr. Words Taylor.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, salute, bro. How you feeling?
Man, I am blessed. How about you, sir?
Great, man. I'm great. Excited to be here. I appreciate you having me on your platform, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you being here. A lot of people don't know who you are, so I always like to jump into who is Words Taylor. If you had to sum it up in 2 minutes, who's Words Taylor?
I'm not special, man. I'm in love with God. I'm in love with being a husband and a father. I think those three things define and make up who I am. And what I do as far as business are because I want to be a better those three, be better at those three things, right? And so business just allows me a certain amount of freedom to be able to be the best possible believer, husband, and father. So yeah, that's me in a minute. We can do that in 30 seconds. That's me, bro.
Let's go. We get started, I want to congratulate you. You just had a new baby. Congratulations. We were talking about that before we got on live. So definitely congratulations. Big ups to you for having the new baby. That's a lot of work.
It is some work, bro. Baby boy, 9 pounds, 8 ounces. So exactly.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I have two younger boys, and then my daughter's the oldest. She's 8 years old.
Man, congratulations. But you know what though? Hey, that's more motivation.
Oh, absolutely.
More motivation to keep on doing it.
And that's what I say, like, even in business, I know we haven't got into it yet, but even in business or whatever we're doing, you have to put yourself in a position where you can't, like, failing is not an option, right? 3 kids and a wife, I'm the sole provider, and, one income, and it's off of our business full time. It's like, yo, I don't have time to complain. I don't have time to fail. I don't have time. If I do fail, I don't have time to stay down. Like, I don't have time, but I have to win. I have to. Like, winning is necessary for us to continue. So that's key.
Hey, I'm so happy to hear that. So blessed to be able to have you on the show. Yeah. Now, let's dive right in because I know we're under a time constraint. So let's dive right in. It's 8:25 on the nose. So let's dive right in. What is it that you do? And let's take it farther back. Let's be real and raw, because on this show I hold no punches. I ask all the questions. So real and raw. Who was Words Taylor before he was Words Taylor, and how did you become the man that you are today?
Yeah. So, man, that's a great question. So I would say I was the same person, but the difference is everything was clouded by insecurities and fear. And I allowed my life to be defined by what other people have said, the fat and you ugly or unattractive, or so I allowed their words to be mine. So therefore, I've been the same person. However, I didn't realize that because my self-esteem and all of those things were clouded. And so for me, it was about in college when I was hanging with some friends and they was like, "Bro, you just angry all the time," and it literally it was like I'm just how. We always told as a man, like you can't let people try you. You gotta be the macho man, you gotta be the alpha male and all of that. So I'm walking around angry, but in fear. And hoping you don't really find out my secret that I'm really
who you really are.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like my secret is that really I want to love, I want to be vulnerable, I want to be transparent, but I can't. And I feel like I can't. And so my guy was like, "Bruh, listen, what you need to start doing is you need to start doing poetry or rapping or something." I tried rapping. That wasn't for me, right? But then at the time, right, yes, like, nah, we ain't doing that, okay? But at the time, there was Def Poetry Jam out. Okay. And so I started watching that, and I was like, boom, that's the release I need right there. There it is. And I remember doing the poetry, and that, man, my first few poems was about my mother, just because she wasn't part of my life in the beginning of my life. And I was like, this is it. And I remember coming off the stage, and this is in college in 2004. I came off the stage. A young man came up to me and was like, "Yo, that poem just changed my life." And right then and there, I was like, "Yep, this is what I want to do.
This is it."
Like that feeling, that release that I got for me, and the fact that I can get my own release and help other people release. And it wasn't anymore about me hiding my insecurities. It was about me actually leaning into those things and revealing them. Like, so I took the control back, and that made me feel empowered. Like, I'm telling you why I'm angry. I'm telling you why I feel insecure. I'm telling you what I feel about me. And to be able to reveal that, man, it was monumental for me. And I just remember calling my pops like, "Yo, I know what I want to do." And he's like, "Yo, will you want to be a lawyer?" I'm like, "No." He's an engineer? No.
Nope.
Keep going. And he's like, "What, doctor?" I'm like, "No, a poet." And he's like, Oh man. We sent you all the way to college for you to come back and be a poet. And he didn't understand. He does today, but he didn't understand it at the time. And from there, we just kept growing. We just kept growing it. And I became more passionate about it and more passionate about people. So that's who I was prior to. And that's how I got started.
So it's crazy because Michelle McLean, my co-host on my Wednesday night shows, always says our tides rise together. Yeah. So basically, you found your personal fulfillment in fulfilling others and lifting others, and that is what you turned into a business. So we're going to now transition. What is it that you do in the business realm, and what is it that you did before the business realm, before you pivoted and said, "You know what, I can turn this into a business"?
Yeah.
I see that Extreme Execution shirt on.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? And we'll actually get to this, right?
Yes, sir.
And the story even behind it, right? So, but what I did before was like I said, I started off doing spoken word poetry. I would literally, bro, I'm saying the entrepreneur game is here for you to just take over. Mm-hmm. Even back then at 22, 23 years old, I wanted it so bad. I used to drive random places wherever they had, and this is like when Facebook was first introduced, when people still doing events on Facebook. I don't know if they still do that. Wherever there was an event, I would go there and drive and just get on the stage. I started I would drive to Kansas City. I'm in Iowa. So I would drive to Kansas City about 4 hours away. I would drive to Atlanta, which was 22 hours away. I flew to New York. I flew to Chicago. I went wherever there was a stage that would allow me to get on there just to start getting more exposure. Like I was hungry for this thing. Once you understand what you're supposed to do and you get that vision, right, and you have clarity, like me, is once I see it, you will never be able to take it from me. You won't ever take it from me. And I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get it, right? So I started doing that. And of course, while doing that, I was still working jobs. So I worked at I worked as a counselor doing Be His services, where you were counseling kids and helping them transition out of facilities back into their home. I did that. I worked at Principal Financial, which is all about insurance and all of this stuff. So I did the corporate world, and what I did in that was I would work my corporate job from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I work a part-time job from 3:30 to 11:30, and then from 11:30 on to about 2 hours, sometimes 90 minutes to 2 hours, I would work on my business. So every single night, I would not go to sleep until I started working on my business, and that was the business of me figuring out how can I use my words to start helping people. How can I use my words to change people's lives? And initially, like I said, I was doing poetry. I wrote a book. And the book did well. And then I wrote another book that went bestseller on Amazon. And I was like, yo, this is it. This is getting there. And then I wanted to start shifting into, okay, you know what? I really want to start freeing people in a different way. So I started learning a skill, which was the skill was all about marketing, online, creating digital products and all of that. And so I said at this point, okay, what I want to do is I want to teach myself how to market things online, how to create money even while I sleep, right? That's how we've been able to get to this point now where, bruh, like it's a different feeling when you wake up and you check your emails and it says, all right, sales. And once I started to put it in place for myself, I then shifted everything and I said, you know what? I'm going to show other entrepreneurs how to do it. And the reason why I was so passionate about entrepreneurs is because my pops was an entrepreneur. I've never seen my pops work a job. I've never seen him clock in to somebody else. He owned his own time. Well, he managed his own time. God owned the time, but he managed it. He was steward over his own time. And me working in jobs, I was never comfortable because I wasn't taught that way. Yes, I was taught how to create my own income. And when I finally put myself in that position, I said, yo, I just had this conversation with my wife a few months ago. And I said, babe, we'll never be broke again. Not never. I know too much. I know too much.
Own ATM.
Exactly, right? And so at that point, I said, okay, cool. Now we're going to shift our business to showing entrepreneurs how to start owning their time, how to start creating income while they sleep, how to create digital products, how to turn their ideas and start to launch them for profit. So that's how we got into the business. Now, of course, and let me know when you want to jump in, but of course, there was a lot of sacrifice that had to be made.
I was just getting ready to ask you about that because one thing that I see is the congruency between dollar word of the day, congruency between
let's go.
All of the entrepreneurs that I've had on my show. Mike Farrar, big shout out to him. Real estate, Mr. Flip Happens, my brother, Mr. Keith Chasen. Gonna shout all these names out. Words Taylor, all the same things. Listening to ET, listening to Kendall Flickland, listen to all these different things. Shout out Kendall because he might be appearing soon. But all the different things that I see from all these entrepreneurs, and I'm not talking about the side hustle entrepreneurs. I'm talking about people that said, you know what, we're not working for anybody else. We are going to work for ourselves, and we're going to create our own wealth, whether now or generational wealth. They said there's a certain level of sacrifice, and you touched on something, driving to different events. You recognize the sacrifice early. So let's talk more about your sacrifice that landed you into the job and the career that you have now. Not job, excuse me, the career that you have now.
Yeah, for sure. Like, first of all, the biggest thing you can do is you have to have clarity. The reason why as entrepreneurs we're stuck is because we don't fully have clarity on where we're going and what we're doing, right? So you can't have clarity and be stuck, because once, like just like when you get in your car, once you put the coordinates in and you know exactly where you're going, you're moving. You can move now. Until you know that car remains right there. You're the vehicle. So once you have clarity on exactly where you're going.
Oh, say that one more time.
You are the vehicle.
You are the vehicle.
You're the vehicle.
Yes,
Only
sir.
thing you have to do now is go to your destination, right? But you have to have clarity on where that destination is. When I had that, game over, game changer. But here's the thing, that still is gonna come with sacrifice. So you asked me what were the sacrifices, bro? First of all, in 2012 we lost everything, right? So I talk about this often. I even talk about it in my book. One of the craziest times of my life, where in 2012 we had a home, 4-bedroom, 4-level split, and I didn't manage money well. I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and so we ended up losing a home. We were at the time of losing home, we were caught up in the checking the cash cycle, the payday loans, where you go there and oh yeah, you give me 500, and then I get the 500, and I pay my bills and put my account into the negative $500, and then I gotta when I get paid, I gotta take that money out, go pay that loan back. I gotta go the next day. Like, bruh, it was a cycle of survival. And then not only that, we were going to food pantries. And finally, we ended up losing the home, and we had to sleep in a friend's basement for about 4 months. Bro, I just remember during that time, like, this is the lowest time of my life as a man. I'm like, man, I failed. Yes, and there's two things that happen when you fail. You either going to fail and then go the complete opposite direction, or you're going to fail and say, okay, this was a result. I didn't fail. I got a result. Now let me measure this result and let me adjust and flip some things and keep moving forward, right? So this is where I was. What happened was my wife came and brought me a video, and she's like, babe, because she knew I was like, I don't deal with depression or anything, but this is one time where I was like, man, I messed up. And we have our 5-month-old daughter and all of that. She brings me a video, and my man is saying, yo, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you'll be successful. I said,
yes, sir.
Bro, I'm like, let's go. Yes, sir. You just like, my man, the spirit moves through the video, bro. And I just remember I'm in the basement listening to my man religiously every single day, right? Every single day I'm listening to my man, and I'm like, okay, cool, we're gonna work. And so from then on, I Googled, I YouTubed, how do I make money online? Like, this is true story, right? I'm at the lowest point where I'm like, oh God, what do I do? How do I make money online? I just knew what I had. My man ET got me motivated, but I still didn't. Okay, we talk about stuck. The vehicle turned on, engine revving. Now it's like, where does this vehicle go?
Yes, sir.
I still didn't know where to go. So I just Googled, yo, how do you make money online? And I saw my man, it was a guy, James Whitmore. He was talking about doing funnel systems and creating online products and being able to teach online workshops and all of this. And bro, I got engulfed. I mean, ET all day, James Whitmore at night. I'm studying, I'm buying his products. And look, this is what I did to sacrifice. So more sacrifice. We finally get our apartment. And again, we're rebuilding. I'm like, babe, we're going to cut out, because I'm studying still. I'm like, yo, we're going to cut out this bowling league that I was doing. We're not going to get cable. We're going to cut out eating out. We're going to cut out a whole bunch of stuff, because I need all of these expenses. I need this to be an investment for our business. So like we went through a couple years of like no luxury, no Netflix, no cable, no any of that. Why? Because I wanted any type of free income besides paying the bills that we need. I needed that income to go towards me learning. I'm like, babe, I'm going all in on us, all in. And so when I started learning, bruh, I got to a point where, okay, now they're teaching like, yo, you got to start putting out content. So I started doing I joined a network marketing company. Here's the key. And I found a gap. The gap was people were getting discouraged. ET had just came out. He was motivating people online. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to do that. I didn't know how hard that was, bro. I was like, this is hard because now I got to turn on this camera and people gonna be like, "Oh, this is a fat motivational speaker. You need to motivate yourself to lose weight, bro." I talked myself out of it.
All the self doubt and the
all of it creeps up. I'm like, man, this is dumb. I ain't doing this video stuff. And finally, bro, I just end up doing it one day, and people started reacting. So I did it for free for 2 years for this network marketing company. I started me and this other guy, Brandon Boy, started Morning Motivation. For 2 years, I did lives for 4 times a week. I didn't like, yo, you ain't never did nothing. People ain't never did nothing for 52 weeks straight. I'm talking about 52 weeks straight, bro. Like when I say hungry, bro, I'm talking about hungry. Like I'm in pain. Like I can't be in this situation next year type of pain. Like I can't move forward type of pain. So 2 years straight, 4 lives a week, just giving out motivation, doing motivation. And what happened was I did when the movie Black Panther came out, I did a series on Black Panther. The CEO of the network marketing company ends up like sharing my video because so many people were talking about me, shares my video. I now have a contract with the company to do the mindset and teaching and online teaching for the entire company. So same platform as same platform as Les Brown. So all of that happened. And then as I'm doing these 4 lives a week, well, there was a mentor of mine that was getting his PhD while I was getting my undergrad. He gets a job at Michigan State University. First person he sees on campus, Eric Thomas. So he says, yo, I got a guy, Words Taylor, that does motivation too. And he tells me like the first time he was like, okay, ET was like, okay, cool. That's good. That's dope. He sees him again. He's like, yo, my guy just did another video. I want to show it to you. So E was like, okay, give him my number. So from that point on,
we're not talking about CJ, are we?
No. No, not CJ. This is a guy that was getting his PhD at Iowa State University when I was undergrad. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. If I wasn't putting out content
faithfully,
all right. His name is Terry Frazier. But if I wasn't putting out content faithfully, would he have thought about me in that moment when he saw ET? Or if I had put out content and I wasn't consistent, would he have still made that same sacrifice? Would he have still went to bat for me? See, now I'm talking about when I say 52 weeks straight, right? You can count on me showing up. Even now with the contract that I have with the company, they know I'm going to show up.
Yes, sir.
You know I'm going to be there. So what ends up happening is me and ET, I'm texting my man 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was making sacrifice. So on the podcast, he's talking about, yo, my church is opening up. My church, marble floors and all of that stuff. So I say, well, shoot, my man is excited about his church. I'm about to drive down and just be a part of the opening as well. 10-hour drive. I go, listen, 10-hour drive. I drive there. And at that point, I said, I don't even care if my man don't even see me. The point is, you're excited about something. And if I say, you're a mentor of mine, even though you barely know me, I'm going to be excited about it too. I drove down. My man ended up sitting with me for about 15 minutes. We ended up chopping it up. We talked about, some business stuff and all of that. And then I drove back the next day. From there, I now I'm skipping through a little bit. From there, this program, my team and we're over the launch of it. You know what I'm saying? We now have a
time out, because I don't think people understand the gravity of this situation, because ET has inspired me. Like, I'm talking about, like, in my lowest of lows, like, it inspired me. Dr. Eric Thomas himself, As Bad as You Want to Breathe.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All the motivational videos, all like, I mean, you'd have to be almost dead to not know who Dr. Eric Thomas is.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And you are in charge of the launch of Extreme Execution. And that is crazy to me because, you know what I mean? I belong to the program Game Changers. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
You know, one of his flagship programs. And, you know what I mean? It has been one of those things that I can honestly say changed my life.
For sure.
And know that somebody had a piece of that. That's just phenomenal.
That's just crazy. Like, it was crazy for me as well. Like, just to go from, bro, I was just listening to you while I was in the basement. Mason, what up? Salute, man. I was just listening to you while I was in the basement with no money, just lost everything. And now to come to a situation where, again, when we talk about manifesting things, when you understand the vehicle, my wife will tell you, I said, yo, I would share a stage with ET. Again, in Philly, I spoke at his Verify program. He asked me to speak there. Boom. And then I said, yo, babe, I'm going to get money with ET. It's going to happen. Like, anything that I say, I'm going to, like, yo, it just, me and God,
existence.
Yeah, we just on the same page. Me and God just on the same, we in the same vibration, bro. And so if I say it, then understand it's going to manifest. And I'm going to make it happen, bro. And it was just a blessing that it worked out. You know, I was able to connect with Nikki and all of that. And then we were able to get a contract, and now, boom, he's like, all right, let's try you out. Cool. So we did the first launch. It was successful. And then he was like, all right, let's keep going. If we're doing it, let's keep going. And so I got a chance to put all of that work, all of that sacrifice that I made, and all the money that I sacrificed to study, the luxury that I passed up to be able to invest. There were courses that I bought that were $1,200. It was $2,500, and I ain't had them. I'm telling you, one of two people that are I still consider mentors to this day, Mike and Robin Peixoto. They had a $1,200 program, bro. I didn't have $1,200, and I think their payment plan was like you had to do it in 3 payments. I hit them up personally and was like, yo, I don't have the money, but if you allow me to do, $100, or you know what? I presented them $50 a month. I promise you the money will be there. And they were like, that's 2 years. Can you do 200? No, I can't. Can you do 100? Yes, I'll work that out. If y'all can do 100, I'll work that out. $100 a month for 12 months. They worked with me. And that program was called Funnel Fanatics. My entire business is built on funnel systems, teaching people funnel systems. So the very thing I made the sacrifice to invest in was now what I use to build my business off of. The thing that I do for E is I launched this program through funnel systems. Hear what I'm saying now, how this is connecting right now. The sacrifices that were made, the luxury that I sacrificed, the money that I sacrificed in order to teach myself for those 2 or 3 years that I was going, all of those things came to fruition once it was once I started applying those things. Like, so I built my business on funnel system. I built this, the same thing I'm launching with E was built on funnel system. Like, that's the crazy part.
Now because I want people to get this, and I want this to be tangible, because I don't think people understand, like me and my wife launched this business, you know what I mean? And Q said a crazy thing. He said, made the deposit for your future. And by the way, guest, and by the way, audience, if you have any questions for words, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments.
Let's get it.
We want you to learn, and we want you to take this. And I'm a try and stick them for a part 2. But he's a busy man. But at the same time, though, I want people to understand that sacrifice, because I want people to understand, how long did you do the 4 episodes a week without getting paid for any of it? Because it is so crazy. Like me, as I start mine, like I am doing the Sunday night showcase. I get on randomly throughout the week, and then I have the journey on Wednesdays at 8:00 at night. Now I feel like I need to step up my game. I'm only doing it twice a week, and then random. But as me and my wife are building our business and BB3 Studios, and we're launching that, and we're trying to make that a go, you know what I mean? Thank the Lord for the blessings of this past week. But it's just so crazy to me that you did it for so long without getting paid a dollar, but you stayed dedicated to that journey.
Yeah. It's people over profit, bro. When I first started, bro, it was all about the money for me. And the more you make it about the money, the broker you're gonna be. You're gonna stay broke. You're gonna stay broke when you make it about the money. But when I shifted, I promise you all, there's no fluff whatsoever. When I shifted to make it people over the profit, and I said, all right, cool. I'm just gonna make it about serving, and I'm gonna give out this work. I did that, like I said, for 52 weeks, straight, and then I ended up doing it for 2 years straight. All right, so what's that? 104 weeks straight, bro. And this is dojo. All the videos are still on my page and everything. So 104 weeks straight, I'm doing this, and then finally, and I'm not saying you gotta wait for people to define your worth or whatever, but I had a plan. I told my guy Rashard, I was like, look, I'm gonna do this and watch me get to that CEO.
Yeah.
Well, I said, I promise you, I'm saying
into existence again.
Yes, whatever it is. Like, for instance, now make sure you hear this on your show. One of the people that I admire in my field is Billy Jean. Hear me say this today. I will work with Billy Jean, and Billy Jean and I will get money together. He's as far as a black man in sales and marketing, he's at the top of this joint, right?
Yeah.
I will work with Billy Jean. Again, putting that out to the atmosphere. When I said a couple of years ago, my wife, once 2019 hits, my wife will not work for anybody else. She will not clock into a job. January, whatever, my wife quit her job. No, I'm manifesting whatever I say, it will happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And hear me say this.
Into existence.
Come on, that's it. And there's action behind it now.
Yes, faith without works is dead.
Exactly. And so now she will never work for anybody else. Anytime she works, it will be because if she chooses to, that's her choice. But anytime she works, it will be her own brand or our business. That's what we're gonna focus on.
Generational wealth.
To do that for 2 years straight and to make that sacrifice and know where you're going. Like I did that, and then again, like if you're serving the people, watch what happens. I'm serving the people. Mm-hmm. I'm serving the people now, and the people are now talking about their leaders, talking to their leaders about me. And people are like, well, who is this Words Taylor dude that's down here doing this? And then the leaders talking to the CEO and saying, yo, there's this dude named Words Taylor. He finds me, like I just said, and then he shares my videos and stuff on Instagram. He tells the company, yo, go follow this man. Yeah, yo, you need to be following Words Taylor. And so I'm like, well, if you're gonna do that, I can get into his DM. My man didn't hit me back. I hit my man for about 6 weeks straight. No, you're gonna respond. There's gonna be a response, whether it's stop messaging me or find what do you need. You're gonna respond some type of way.
You're gonna respond.
He's gonna respond, right? So he finally says, hey, Words, sorry, I've been traveling. Cool. He's like, here's my cell phone. Okay, you've done it now. So I end up talking to my man, and what ends up happening is they brought Les Brown on. Ooh. And I remember going to Houston, and this event was in Vegas, and I said, Chris, his name was Chris, and I said, Chris, like, bruh, like I've laid down the foundation for this. Like, I get Les Brown, he's a legend, but yo, let's work, man. The people are responding to me. And he was like, yo, Words, you're right. He's like, let's get a deal together. And so we inked the deal, and then boom, like that's what I'm saying. Like I put in the work. I laid a path first. And I was able to say, bruh, path has been laid. Yeah. So when you're trying to do deals with people, and you're trying to do big deals and things like that, and you want to attract the big fish, feed their people first. Like, feed the people and watch what happens. Watch what happens. And not only that, but put them in a position where they don't have to do no work. Yes. You saw from my work ethic, like, bro, you ain't got to worry about it.
Serve.
Absolutely. And I filled a gap, one that you didn't have an answer for. I created the solution and I had already filled it for free and I did it. And then when I came to you, I'm like, yo, only thing you got to do is we sign off. I'm gonna still do what I've been doing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like we just gonna shift it here on a bigger scale, however you want to do it. But you don't have to do no extra work because of me. I don't need you to answer no questions. I don't
bring any negatives to the table. I'm only bringing positives to feed your audience.
I'm an asset.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You already got liabilities. That's it, bro. You got the table. I'm bringing a whole look. I'm bringing food. You know how you go to a barbecue and they be like, bring something. I'm bringing something
because a lot of entrepreneurs expect somebody else to feed them. And what I've recognized is that they're not entrepreneurs.
Oh.
They're people that have regular jobs that are doing a side hustle that expect somebody else's clientele. Like this week, I sent out, and I showed my brother, like I sent out 10 to 15 different, the same message I sent out to you, the same I sent out to ET. I'm talking about I sent them out to everybody. And listen, I'm going to send them out every week until I get something back. But you know what I mean? You have to be persistent, relentless, and you have to understand that if you don't bring something to the table, you cannot expect somebody else to bring it to the table for you.
No. I don't need you. I don't need you to feed me. I'm not asking to come to the barbecue and just eat off of what's there. I'm saying I'm bringing burgers. I ain't even saying
the people that bring the takeout plates. I don't need you.
I don't need you. Yeah, like I ain't even focused on drinks. I'm bringing steak, chicken, burgers. That's what I'm bringing to the table. And so the same thing with E, it was like, and my other clients like him 500 or even Dave Shands, like there are other clients in my dream builder. They know when I come, I'm going to bring steak.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not bringing my hand and be like, just hand me a plate. I'm bringing steak. I will bring, listen, I'll even make it so sweet where I won't get paid until I make you money. Just give me something out of the money I'm gonna bring to the table.
Pay me after the fact. Take care of me after the fact. Let me take care of you. That is the definition, ladies and gentlemen, of serving. But listen, I wanted to make sure that we honor your time, Mr. Words Taylor. We are 3 minutes from 9 o'clock, and I know you have another appointment after this. Yeah. So I have one question from Misha Nicholson. Misha said, so how did you build your business off of funnels? And what I would suggest, if it was me, I would say, listen, we should do a part 2. Come on, Word. We should do a part 2 so that way you can answer the questions and make sure that we have enough time because we got 3 minutes, 2 minutes now. You know what I mean? But the stuff was so deep. You know what I mean? I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface of who Word Taylor is.
We can get a couple more minutes. Let me just text wifey and let her know.
Hey, listen,
me back angry emoji. Then
yes, sir. Hey, look. As soon as wifey says like, "Hey, you got to go," you got to go. But you said, shout out to all the wives putting up with us, dreamers, and seeing it through with us. Hard road, but it paid off for y'all fellas. Still playing the video, still hard road, but it paid off. Y'all fellas still playing video games when you should be building your legacy and she will never take you serious. Basically, what he's saying is like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, if your priorities are not in line with what your dreams and your goals and your aspirations are, like there's conversations that me and my wife are having right now that are game changers for our family. But like at the end of the day, if they're not in line with your work ethic, it is a mute conversation because this man right here proved it. 2 years, 104 weeks without a penny, without a dime, but continually served others. I think the biggest, another congruency, dollar word of the day, but is the fact that everybody that has been successful in the game of entrepreneurship has served others at a high level. Not like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna bring baked beans to your cookout. I'm gonna bring the potatoes. I shouldn't say potato salad because you can mess up a potato salad real bad.
Yeah, you can.
But like bringing high quality substance to other people's plates, to other people's tables, and said, you know what? I am here to serve you. I don't even care if you pay me. I just want to serve you at a high level. Not like I just want to serve you. No, I want to serve you at a high level.
And
you know,
I want to add something to that. It's not serving as in, let me carry your bags or things like that.
Don't jump into that one. That was one of the dopest podcasts. Can I carry your bags?
Yeah. It's not that type of serving. It's I want to serve in filling this gap right here. Mm-hmm. So for me as a businessman, and this is how I got some of the people on my squad. It was like, hey, do you know if you did this, this, and this, you can now? And it's like, bruh, like I'm obviously if it's not done, then I don't know about it. Hey, come here.
Sure.
Come here. So you just found a gap. Now what you need to do is put yourself in that gap, become a solution for it. So when I say I served, even in this company, this network marketing company, I found a gap and I put myself in that gap and I began to serve in that manner and I began to create a solution right there. And they're like, oh shoot, this is good. And I made it so again, like I said, you didn't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. And then you make it so great where if you dare try to take it away, then they're like, well, hold on, where you going with this? Let Bianca, who does my systems and stuff right now, and making my life crazy easier, right? Like it's crazy. And it started off with her just like, yo, I'm gonna just do this for you. Like I rock with you, all of that stuff. And if she would have dared tried to take it away, I would have been like, well, hold on now.
Oh, wait a minute.
I need all of that. Wait, you just filled a gap that I felt relief. And so now I'm like, okay, well, shoot, I gotta pay you now. You ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And
you are now part of the solution.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I say serving. Because at any point, a person that's carrying a bag can be replaced. You can I can
younger. I
can carry my own bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, there go Bianca right there. And salute to Bianca. Like, she just always just sneak up on the lives and all of that. But I'm like, yo, you ain't. And now I promote Bianca, but every time I do, there's something inside where it's like, oh, she's gonna leave. Like, oh, don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how dope she is and the relief that I get. So I'm like, I don't need you to get too many clients right now. You know?
What I want people to take from that statement, and I want it to be real and raw, is you have to create massive amounts of value in other people's lives. Like, listen,
come on.
I want to create so much value with my Sunday night showcase where we do nothing but entrepreneurs. If you're not an entrepreneur, you cannot be on the Sunday night showcase.
Right.
Where, you know what I mean? We just talk about entrepreneurs, people that have come from the mud, like from the bottom and said, you know what? This is where I started and I want to be able to give back to others. And I appreciate you for that. But like, there's so much in that we need to unpack. And it says that you become value, therefore you become profitable. Like, yeah. You do not become profitable as an entrepreneur without creating value. There is no value proposition. There is no profit. Yes. Like, one goes with the other. And I feel like there's so many people out there that think like, oh, I'm just going to pop up something. You know what I mean? And it's, oh, I've got the next greatest idea. I promise you somebody else has that same great idea.
The idea.
Right out.
It's not, stop it right now.
You are not creating the new wheel. You are just creating a different set of tires with a different logo.
Exactly.
They've did it before, but what you have to do is find the problem, become the solution, and then figure out how to become a better solution. That is when people take you in and say, you know what, I need that in my life. And you know what I mean? We appreciate that about you, Words, and we appreciate you bigging up your people that are around you, because our tides rise together, as Michelle would say. One last thing before we get off. Like I said, I want to honor your time, regardless if you say you have a few more minutes. I want to honor wifey's time. Baby's down. So what would you say to that entrepreneur that is afraid to take the leap, that is afraid to go to the next level because of some fear? You know what I mean? Some people say face everything and run. Some people say face everything and rise. Right. What would you say to that entrepreneur that is looking for that one last push to get over the hump, to say, you know what? I've had enough.
Yeah.
Let me do this because I feel like I bring this to the table. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, fear is expensive. That's what I was saying. Like delayed action is expensive. All of those things are expensive. You're going to pay more to stay in your little box. It costs more. And understand, like, for instance, give an example of when we were actually broke. It was like, why does it feel like life is way more expensive? It costs more to be mediocre. It costs more. Losing costs more because your passion is different. Like, the things that you prioritize is way different. Right now, you are a consumer. So either you're going to decide to be the producer, where you start to create income and create the things that people are consuming, or you will be the one that's always consuming. Means everything you do will cost you money.
Yes, sir.
Fear will cost, like, right? Even right now, I'm not saying that COVID is not real or anything, but they're still cashing in on our fear. The banks make more money off people that don't have money and overdraft fees than actually people that do. So understanding that, like, as you decide not to take the leap, as you decide not to pursue your dreams and go, know that it's going to cost you, and it's going to cost you more than it would if you would just move. And you know, the biggest thing that is going to cost you right now is it's going to cost you your mind. Because I'm telling you, I would rather move in fear than live one day in regret. Regret hurts. You can't take regret back. You can't change regret. You're gonna always replay, man. If I would have just, man, I should have just, that's gonna replay every single day. Sure. But when I die, I'm gonna be like, yo, I was watching this thing with Jim Carrey, this interview with Jim Carrey. And he said there was a point where he was on an island or something, and they thought some missiles went off, and they told him that, yo, you only got 10 minutes to live. The missiles will be there in 10 minutes. And he was like, I went into a state of gratitude, and there was about 2 minutes left. And he was like, that whole 8 minutes, because I couldn't call anybody out. He's like, I just went into this state of gratitude. And he said, I kept saying, man, this was a hell of a ride. I did everything that I desired to do. I took every risk. I did. So he was ready to die in peace. And then they found out, okay, that it was a false alarm, but he thought it was real. That's a moment right there, to be able to have peace in yourself, knowing that every day you woke up, you gave it 120%. Like you tried. You attempted, you adjusted, you did everything you could to try to win. Like, that's a feeling that I could die like that. Like, I did everything to change my stars, to change the position, to change where I was going, everything. But you know what I won't do? I will not live a day in regret. I will not live one day where I say, oh man, I should have. It's too expensive. That hurts too much. That hurts too much. It costs way too much to lose. It costs way too much to be in fear, bro. It's gonna cost my kids. It costs my wife. Everybody around me now has to pay when I lose. When I live in fear, everybody else has to pay. And I will not die a burden. You hear me? Like, that's key. I won't die a burden to my family. And if I'm in fear, that means when I die, they're gonna have the burden.
Yes, sir.
No, I want it when I die. You're gonna be sad for a moment, but you're gonna be like, dang, daddy, he set us up though.
Even in death, I want to be an asset.
Come on, even in my death, like, yo, I gotta be an asset. Let's go. Let's
go.
That's where we at. That's where we at.
Words, Taylor. We appreciate you tonight. We are thankful and we extremely are grateful for your presence on our show tonight. If you'll hang out in the green room for just a second, again, thank you.
Let's get it, bro. Salute.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard it from Mr. Words Taylor himself, funnel creator, author, online launch strategist. We unpacked so many things tonight, but what I think the biggest thing that we could take from tonight was you have to serve at a high level. And I'm not talking about just, oh, you know what I mean? I'm here for you. No, I'm talking about find their problem and become the solution. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the biggest thing that I took from tonight is serve at a high level. Do not become only a consumer in your life. Be a high level producer because consumers cost money. They become a liability. Become an asset and do not become a liability in life, and you will be prosperous. It is your favorite guy, Demetrius Naylor. I love you. God loves you. I always want to tell you, y'all have a blessed night.